Okay, everyone ready? Okay, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen and viewers. We are here with our Woman Crush Wednesday, and our Woman Crush of the Week this week is Miss Jennifer Slay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
And
Jennifer.
it just happens to be International Women's Day as well, does it not?
It is.
Awesome. So I'm really excited to have you because you're another coach.
I am.
Perfect. So we're going to get into it. Also, we have here Vinny Chase. Do you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. Little Miss Chris is with us.
Hey.
And we also have someone from legal. Nicely done. Just making sure she keeps me out of jail, I guess, eh? Too risque, these episodes.
That's right.
Anyway, we are outnumbered, Vinny Chase. It is, which is great for Woman Crush Wednesday and for International Women's Day. I am wearing red today. Red is the color. We're at pretty much everyone. And look what else I got. I've got it up here too.
Red elastic in your
Red elastic in my hair.
Very good.
It's all about the ladies tonight. So, Jen, so thanks for being here, first of all. We appreciate having you.
Thank you for having me.
For anyone out there that doesn't know you, and we're going to, just so you know, we're going to be looking at this camera more so than the other ones. These are the live feeds. This is the professional feed.
Okay.
If for anyone that doesn't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and who you are, what you do, and that sort of thing.
Well, it all started back in the 70s. When I moved to London about almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
Over 20 years ago.
London, Ontario.
London, Ontario. That's
Right.
right. And I came here to go to school.
Okay.
Fell into social work.
Okay.
And I've been doing social work for about 20 years.
Okay.
And so over the last few years, I've gone through my own kind of transformation, deciding, you know what do I really want to do with my life? And I decided I wanted to be a life coach.
Okay.
And I've opened my own private practice in counseling, coaching, and motivational speaking.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Yes, it is.
How are you finding the motivational speaking? How do you find that?
I love it.
Were you nervous at all when you did it your first time?
I'm always nervous. Before I'm on stage, no matter what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I have that rumbling in my belly, and it's like, ooh. But then, you're on stage for about 10, 15 seconds, and
It kind of levels out.
it levels up.
What are your tricks? Do you picture the audience naked?
I do not.
You do not.
I do not.
I do that all the time. Well, I do that without the audience. I just do that with people in general. But that's just me. So,
Good to know.
yeah, there you go. We're all naked right now. Everybody comfortable? Okay, good. So motivational speaking, you fell into social work, and now you are a life coach with clients and building your practice.
Yes.
That's exciting. So what made you decide that you wanted to become a life coach?
About, I think it was about 10 years ago, I had a friend that was going through the program of becoming a life coach. And he said, Jen, do you mind if I practice on you? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And so I went through that, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. That was amazing. Because it's not counseling, but it's a way of getting you to recognize things about yourself and choices that you're making that you don't normally look at.
Right.
Right? You just become a bit more self-aware of the things that you're doing.
Sure.
And I thought, you know what? I'd love to do that for other people. And I always had an excuse for why I couldn't go through with it. And then the last couple of years, I'm like, I'm just doing it.
Fuck it, I'm doing it.
I'm just doing it.
Right on.
That's right.
So in any of your clients, have you been noticing some of that self-awareness in them? Are you passing that on? Do you see these changes taking place?
I do.
Okay, so you see that.
I do, and it's so exciting. Like,
Right.
I love when the light bulbs go off.
Okay.
Because all you're really doing is asking a lot of pointed questions, right?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Why can't I do this? And they just go on, and then the momentum builds, and they just go for it.
Right.
And
So
that's exciting.
So you and I are both coaches in different kind of ways. I mean, I'm a sex coach, so I follow a wheel that focuses on a MEBS model.
Mm-hmm.
So a MEBS model means that basically there's a wheel, and you focus on how much of that wheel you basically rate it out of you can rate it out of 10 or whatever, but it's mind, emotion, body and body image, energy, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So I go around the wheel and I rate myself as to where I am, and I find my weak areas, I find my strong areas, and I try to put that into balance, which is really what life's all about, is balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do this with your clients, you said before that you kind of focus on setting goals and attaining those goals, but you also kind of said a few different areas that made it almost like you're still following the same system as the wheel.
Yeah. So I became certified in coaching through Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. And one of their, what they really tell us to focus on, and what they focus on, is looking at every area of a person's life. So it's very similar.
Right.
It's just different words.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And different niches, kind of.
Exactly. And so we look at all areas of their finances, their emotional life, their relationships, everything, their profession, everything. And we kind of look at where they're at in those areas and where they want to be. Mm-hmm. Right? And if things are kind of off balance, as you were saying the word balance, then we kind of put it in balance. And that balance is different for everybody.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
For some people, it's really important. Their profession is more important to them than their relationships right now, let's say. Right? And so that balance might look like this. A few years from now, that balance might change, right? But it's what's making them feel full and whole as a person.
Absolutely.
And bringing them to that point.
It's all about them. Same thing as in sex coaching. I mean, you want the person to feel whole. Yeah. They're a whole. You look at the whole person.
Yeah.
And the arrow is. I don't know if it's the same in life coaching, but the arrow is always pointed at them. So I don't have the answers. They have the answers. Exactly. We just ask the questions to help them find what the answer is to the problem or whatever it is that they need.
Yes.
So it's very similar. You just focus on. So what are the areas that people come in and say, hey, Jen, you know, I'm really fucked up and I don't know how to fix myself. What would, like, if I came into you and I said, hey, you know, I'm just a fucking disaster. Can you help me? What would you say to me?
Well, I wouldn't use those words.
Okay.
You know.
We do use different terminology apparently as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I think I would kind of say, well, what makes you feel that way? What's going on for you? And kind of hear what they're talking about. I find that most of my clients are women. Yeah. Going through some major transition in life. Right. Whether that's a divorce, whether they're going back to work, or they're feeling very anxious. I have a few clients that have some anxiety, diagnosed with anxiety or depression.
I know all about that.
So needing to kind of ask those questions so that it can become more real. Because oftentimes, it's not that it's a fantasy, but it's not realistic what they built up in their head. Right. And so just bringing it down to reality for them and their reality. Right?
That's a very good point. So you think that people tend to build things up in their minds quite frequently, right? Yeah, okay, I agree. So what would you do if someone came in with these anxiety problems? Would you give them exercises? What would you recommend to someone that just said, hey, you know, exactly like you described, maybe I have a million things built up in my mind. And maybe it's something as small as taking out the garbage, and I'm having a tough time doing that. How would you help me to cope with that in terms of making me less anxious or making me see that as less of a hurdle?
Well, one of the things I say is play the tape through to the end.
Okay.
So you're anxious about taking out the garbage. What's making you anxious?
What do I have to answer this now?
Yes, you do.
I don't know. I guess maybe the fact that I have to go outside.
Okay, what's going on outside that's making you feel anxious?
It's cold out.
It's cold. Okay, so how can you help yourself not feel cold when you go outside?
I guess I could dress warm before I go take out the garbage.
Okay, and if you did that, then would the problem be solved?
I guess it would be, what if I felt like too much work to put on clothing? I'd like to be naked.
Okay, so if you like to be naked and you don't want to go outside because you don't want to take out the garbage, then the garbage could build up inside.
Right, that's true.
And then what happens?
Then I have a smelly naked environment.
And is that what you want?
It's not the right smell. No.
That's why. So you're just asking a lot of questions.
Garbage.
No, I like that. I like how we just totally made up this story about how, you know, like have this garbagey naked apartment. So you said that the majority of your clients are women, and is it kind of a niche market you're going after? I mean, tell us about the business that you're doing. As I understand it, you are taking on, it's a lot about female empowerment and what we do here, right? So tell me about that a little bit.
Well, I have a passion for women.
Okay, me too.
I think it's a little different though.
Okay. Where do you feel your passion, just out of curiosity?
My passion is to help women realize just how strong and powerful they are.
Right.
And not in that way of, I am woman, I'm better than men. Not like that.
Right.
Right? But just to see their power within and what they can accomplish.
Sure.
Because there's so much. We all have such unique gifts. And only we can bring it to the world. And so just realizing what those are and bringing it out, for me, that's my high. Like some people get a high from drugs and alcohol and stuff. My high is seeing those light bulbs go off in someone's eyes.
The aha moments.
The
yeah,
aha moments,
yeah,
exactly.
sure. Well, that's fantastic. That's a good thing to be addicted to.
I think so.
You're changing lives. And that's how we met, actually. Let's go back to how I met you, because it was originally a fashion show that you were putting on.
Yes.
And at that point, I was just finishing some reality TV stuff, and you had asked me to be a model.
Uh-huh.
And I agreed, and it was a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since then, you still have your hand in, like I don't know how you do it, because I try to be a charitable guy, but every time there's always something that you're doing, and you're doing 10 other things. I'm like, holy shit, how does this woman do it, right? Which is amazing. Mm-hmm. So do you have anything coming up?
Yes, I do. So in April, there's a ladies' night, and it's going to be a fashion show. It's at the Bellarmere Winery here in London, April 27th, and it's in support of child cancer, children suffering with cancer. And so I am totally of the belief that who much is given, much is required.
Right.
And so I think I have been blessed with so much in my life that I need to give back. Yeah. In any way that I can. And so having charity functions throughout the community, different times of the year. Yeah. That's one of the ways that I feel I can give back. Well, they're always fabulous, and I always try to help out in whatever way I can. You do. Maybe it's minimal, but I try to help. Oh, you're great. But so let's talk about that, because you feel like you've been blessed, but you've had some hurdles that you've had to face. I have had hurdles. So let's talk about some of the hurdles you've faced that have led you to the position that you're in today. Well, it goes back to my childhood. Okay. It usually does. It usually does. Yeah. So when I was growing up, I was the model child. So, I did really well in school. I was in volunteer things. I was always busy. I was always doing, right? Yeah. And I was accomplishing. And then when I went to university, I was away from my parents, who were strict Caribbean parents. Okay. Right? And 3 years into university, I had to call up my parents and say, I'm kind of sort of pregnant. So how was that phone call? Oh my God. So yeah, tell me about that. So I remember I had called and I spoke to my mom, because mom is always easier to talk to. I agree. I agree. And so I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, mom, I'm pregnant. And she's like, had they met the guy? Yeah, they knew. They knew. Who he was. Because we'd been together for about 3 years at that point. Okay. And so my mom's like, Jamaican mom. Okay. A little hysterical sometimes. Lord Jesus, oh my God! It was like the end of the world, right? And so she's like, okay, well, just come home and we'll help you with the baby. And I'm like, I'm not dying. I'm just pregnant. Sure. So anyway, so she said fine, and she was going to tell my dad. And then I had to talk to my dad. So how did that go? Not well. Yeah. So your mother told me something. Yeah. That's how it always starts. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I see. That's it? That was it. That was really? It. And then he didn't talk to me for a little while. Really? Now, he doesn't remember it that way. Okay. But I do. Is this a typical male thing, would you say, that we tend to remember things differently than women do? I don't want to stereotype. Sure. Yes. Sure. Okay. Fair enough. So, you and I have faced similar circumstances in that situation, because I also had a little bit of a surprise myself. Mm-hmm. The best surprise I've ever had in my life. She's the cutest thing, and I love her to pieces. You know where I got that word surprise from? Where? Okay, do you remember that show, the Roseanne show? Yeah. Okay, so she was talking to her youngest son, DJ. Yes. And said to him, you weren't a mistake. They were talking about it. Somehow it came out. You weren't a mistake. You were a surprise. Right. A mistake is something you wouldn't do again. Sure. But a surprise is something that you didn't know was coming that you actually love. Right. So that's why I say. That's a good differentiate. I like that differentiation for sure. Because so I had a surprise as well, and I remember that conversation with my parents. It took me a while, because I'm also from a pretty conservative, good family, typical good family, we'll call it. And I remember that conversation with my dad did not go well.